A man who was once one of the world's most notorious arms dealers is now at the center of a potential prisoner swap between Russia and the United States. Viktor Bout once served in the Soviet armed forces and trained as a linguist. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Bout leveraged his fluency in at least 6 languages to start a private business, an airline company, that transported people and cargo around conflict areas using old Soviet planes. But the US claimed he used the planes to supply conflicts around the world, sometimes supplying weapons to both sides of the same conflict. Multiple reports tied him to bloody conflicts across the world, and he's suspected of having sold weapons of war to rogue states, rebel groups, and warlords. He was often called the Merchant of Death for his deals. Bout was able to evade capture by the international law enforcement community until 2008, when agents with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration tracked him to Bangkok and caught him on camera, saying he would supply the Colombian-based FARC group with 100 surface-to-air missiles. He was taken into custody by Thai officials shortly after. At the time of his arrest, he was one of the most wanted men in the world. For 2 years, Russia protested his innocence, but he was extradited to the United States where he faced charges of conspiracy to support terrorists, conspiracy to kill Americans, and money laundering. He denied those charges, but was found guilty by a jury in New York. He was sentenced to 25 years behind bars, and he's been detained at the United States Penitentiary in Marion, Illinois, ever since. This is who Russia wants in exchange for 2 Americans. Basketball player Brittany Griner, who was arrested in Moscow on February 17th after Russian authorities said they found cannabis-infused vape cartridges in her bag. She was sentenced to 9 years in Russian prison, even as the United States government maintains Griner was unlawfully detained and they consider her to be a hostage. And American prisoner Paul Whelan, who was convicted in a Russian court on espionage charges that he also denies, he would potentially be included in that swap. We have more on this case at WTHR.com.